Hey guys, I haven't been trading too much this week. I had a doctor's appointment Monday morning. Wouldn't you know it, by Tuesday early morning, I was sick. Picked up something at the doctor's office. So, yeah, I've been out of it for this week. But I'll be back trading. I traded yesterday afternoon to the short side. I tried a long side and I went to the short side there after during Powell's speech. Worked out really good. And so just some things I'm looking at right here, real quick. I showed this chart before, so we did break through and reject a volume point of control that's been valid for 3 years now. So the bears do seem to be in control here. It's on a weekly time frame. I showed you this chart before. I go down to the 1 hour right here, and you see that purple line right there. That's your volume point of control for 3 years. We did lose that. Okay. And we also came up to, and I could tell very early on yesterday, if you zoom in here on a closer time frame here for yesterday's price action. So right around 2 o'clock, that's when the press release comes out. Okay. So we're right up in this area right here. We tried to get back up into that. That was a screaming short right there. Uh, and it just cascaded from there on out the rest of the session. So was not very pretty for the markets all in all yesterday. Go down to smaller time frame here real quick. Okay, and so as you can see, when you zoom in a little bit here, once we started losing our moving averages, that was the tell to start initiating shorts, and I was calling them out as well. And and I also like using these volume profiles. You see that void right there? So you knew, you know, uh, once we started getting into this void area, you knew you really wanted to be leaning to short area. Okay. The 443.36 area. So you could have got in very early if you were too short in the middle of Powell's speech. Okay. That gives you a pretty quick thing. But yeah, bottom line is things are not looking too good here. And we are below critical supports. We'll see what happens here. See if we get any follow through from here on these markets. Qs. We'll go to Qs. Go back to my weekly real quick here. Okay, the weekly on that. See, we came right down to critical support on our weekly on that. Okay. Let's go down to the 1 hour real quick so I don't burn up too much time here. We did lose into the close. We did lose that the bull bear cross, the volume point of control. We did lose that. We are right now at the July lows. They're trying to hold those July lows so far in the overnight session here. This is about 2:30 in the morning that I'm doing this. Got my sleep schedule all messed up here. But bottom line is, though, if we start losing this area here, it is a really quick move to our next 3 year support level. So if you look at your resistance, your point of control, and your support level, it is quite a bit 357 area. Okay. And we are already trying to take those July lows out. So be mindful of that. Uh, and our August lows, just last month, were way down here. So just be mindful of that. It's not like we haven't been down there recent. Just last month we were down here, and we're already trying to violate those July lows here on the Qs on the shorter time frame. IWM. So let me go back to the weekly real quick. Get a real quick close look out of that. You notice we've just been going sideways in the chop vest. We did have a 2 year point of control zone. We've rejected both of those as of the close yesterday. We have a yearly volume point of control down here that has not been satisfied. This is a virgin point of control that has not been satisfied. Typically, those do get satisfied at some point in the future. If you go down here on the daily, we also have a monthly volume point of control down here around the 320, 132. And if you go down to the 1 hour, I think there's a 1 hour one down here too, if I remember right. No, maybe not. The 1 hours have been satisfied, so that's the weekly. The weekly webs have been satisfied. Uh, we are below. That's another thing here. All three of those indices, we are beyond the market maker move expected low for the week. So we are in a gamma squeeze scenario to finish the last 2 days of the week. So be mindful of that. we have an outside move already in play for the week. So be mindful of that in your trading. Okay. Diamonds. Let's go over to that. Let me start with the weekly real quick. 1 second. There we go. All right. This thing here was late to the party as the markets went to new all-time highs. It's been acting late to the party. Uh, so as of last year's, uh, for the past 3 years here, we did have an upper volume point of control, which we currently are below that. Okay, there's an upper volume point of control here. Uh, it's a high volume node. Okay, we are trading below that currently. Let's go down here in smaller time frames. I don't know if the daily is going to show me anything. We do have a monthly volume point of control down here, so that is quite interesting, suggesting in the short term that could definitely be a magnet down to the 321 area. Go down to the 1 hour. I don't remember if there's any down here or not on the shorter time frames. No, it doesn't look like it on the volume controls. So we are still inside the market maker move of the week on the diamonds. So this thing is holding out so far a little bit better than the other indices. But remember the weighting of Apple and Microsoft on the Dow Jones. You have to be quite mindful of that. Let's see. Okay. We don't have any virgin point of controls down here. Apple's right into a major support area. Okay. 2-year resistance area. This is currently acting as support. We lose that. Oh man, the markets are in trouble. Okay. So we're right into very, very critical support that if we were to lose would be quite not good. Not good for the markets. So be quite very mindful on that. That's why it's very important to go back on the bigger time frames. Okay. We do have a virgin point of control down here at the 155 area here on Apple on the monthly time frame. So in my opinion, because we just saw that yearly time frame, we start losing this. Man, this thing could really start falling apart. So the 155 area. So just be mindful. That's well within just the normal trading, cycles. Just to come down to this. So if we lose it, the 155 area is probably the next target area you have to be looking for Apple. Microsoft. Let me go. Microsoft's got all kinds of untested virgin point of controls, so be quite mindful of that going forward here. This thing here has got a very weak profile, so this thing has had a rocket ship move to the upside, and unfortunately, whenever you have those rocket ship moves, at least part of that move to the upside needs to be back tested and seeing how much value there was truly into that, into the value of this, of the move. So, be very quite mindful here. This is actually more dangerous than even Apple because of how much has not been back and filled yet. So be quite mindful of that. Go down in smaller time frame. 3-year support area. Looks like almost a no-brainer to me. It will be down into that 3-year support area at the very least. Untested VPOC right down here too. 315 area. This to me just looks like an absolute no-brainer. That's where we're headed here on the Microsoft. NVIDIA. Okay. We have an untested daily VPOC right down here. The 380, 390. And actually there's two of them down here. There's two untested virgin point of controls down here at 380, 390. Definitely keep that one on watch. Let's go here on the daily. You see, we've just completely come up and went nuts on this thing right here. Massive gap below us right here. An absolute massive gap down here. Untested virgin point of control right here with the gap right below it. A massive gap right below it. This just reeks of an island top possibility. Okay, absolutely reeks of an island top with all these untested volume point of controls down here. Virgin point of controls. I mean, we didn't take any time to back and fill this massive move up. with a massive gap below us. Very dangerous situation for anybody who's you don't. I mean, this is just something you just don't go long term. Put it in there, and come back 5 years and expect to have most of your money. You know, this is something you have to monitor constantly. Okay, Tesla. It's another one I was actually looking at earlier today. All kinds, still quite a few untested virgin point of controls down here. If you go down on the, let me go back to the weekly real quick on that. So on the weekly time frame, that's what I love about going to the weekly, because that gives you a little bit more significance on where the support and resistances are, because you got clearly have overlapping support and resistance. Okay, on Tesla on that time frame. Go down to the 1 hour. Okay, and this is what really bothers me. So we got a gap right down here with an untested VPOC right in the same vicinity. We're right here. This is our 200-day simple moving average on the 1 hour. Looks like it's bear flagging as we speak. This thing here just reeks to me of trouble. Just be mindful of that. We know for a fact for 3 years now, the volume point of control has been acting down here in the 230 area. Okay, so this thing starts to break. This thing can really get ugly quick. So I'm watching that. If we start taking out tomorrow's lows, I'm going to put an alert on there. If we start taking the pre-market lows out on that thing, I am going short on that thing into next week. So I'll tell you that right now on Tesla. AMD I was looking at looks really sad here. We got an untested VPOC really close. Quite possibly we're going to finish this off this week. We actually could very well just this week finish this off 96.70 area on AMD. It's gone weekly. That's what I always want to start with. I didn't actually draw these out. So you see how we just got a chop fest last year. Okay. We are coming out of a high volume point of control for this year into a lighter null here. So, what gets me though, the volume point of control, the volume point of control for this year on a yearly time frame for AMD is right near that untested VPOC. That to me that's just a perfect recipe for that. We're going to be coming down there. This is the gravity well. This is our gravity well for the year. So just be mindful of that. This 95 area is a major pull for AMD. The other ones, Google, I was looking. Google looks like it's ready just to fall apart. 3-year critical support. We had 2 areas, high volume point of controls right here into this zone right here. We're right. No, not point of controls. High volume support. This is acted as support. For the breakouts support. We lose that. Or actually, it should be labeled resistance. I'm sorry. This is resistance. This has been acting as resistance. Okay, acting as resistance. And if we lose that, we do have an untested volume point of control right down here. Should be a really quick move down to that area. We have 2-year critical support from last year. So that put us down into the 125, 126 area for a back test. Okay, that's a very strong possibility. But we do have that untested point of control. Be mindful of that. This is a weekly volume point of control that has not been tested. There was some other things I was looking at. You see how this move up, very, very single print type move up, not supported very well by the volume profile. This actually lines up to this trend line, downtrending trend lines lining right up with this volume point of control. This here just all resonates. 129 is coming sooner than what people realize. So just something to think about in your trading. I know everybody thinks we're just going right back up to the moon. I'm telling you, I think we broke some, we have a failed volume point of control up here. We came up, we failed it. This is a broken down pattern. If you look on a bigger time frame, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we came up, boom, double top. We double topped. It's a failed pattern. We haven't actually gained our ground yet, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. So definitely keep this one on watch. We are into 2-year critical support. This is not one that personally I would suggest is top of my list as a short candidate, but that's something to keep on watch. Okay, Meta, Meta holding out better. We do have an untested volume point of control down here. I don't really have it drawn out that great on this one. This one here is a little bit more of a messier chart, but we do have a volume point of control down here around the 280 range. Okay, I'm not as excited about this to the short side. Another one I've really been watching is Lily, which I didn't even chart it out yet before I started the video, and I'll stop it here in just a minute. Look at what Lily's done. Look at this. Lily has just been on fire. Uh, you know, we're in parabolic territory on Lily. I'm waiting for those earnings to come out and this thing just gets slaughtered. So we do have on the monthly time frames, monthly webs. This thing's come up. It's created a virgin point of control since the earnings reported. So this thing hasn't even came back and back tested the very first monthly level since the earnings have came out. So be quite mindful of that. The 247, the 547 area seems like a very high odds area that's going to test. Go down the 1 hour time frame. We haven't tested the 558 area on the daily webs. We haven't tested the 550 area on the daily webs. All kinds of it reeks of a lot of repair. It's gone up so fast that it hasn't had time to repair, and that's why I like using volume profile. It gives you some clues which stocks you really need to look at. In the coming days, the ones that are getting closer to those repair points. Those are the ones people are focused in on. Lilly is one of those stocks that people are focused in on right now. AMD is one of those stocks people are focused in on. Google sell side, people are focused on that. Those are the things we got to really be watching here. And Microsoft, I think you have to really worry about Microsoft. Okay, so there you go. Quick rundown. Please like the video if you like it. You can follow me at Gumby9662C on Twitter if you want. We do have a free group if anybody's wanting to tune into the Zoom room. Sometimes we talk, sometimes we don't talk. We are serious. We don't just come in there with a bunch of sound effects and crazy stuff. We're serious traders. We're here to make money. I've made more than what I make working my normal job trading this year, and it's hopefully I can keep it up. So but at any rate, you guys, please just if you like it, comments below on the Twitter too, or the YouTube if you want to make some comments. And if you see stuff I don't see, please let me know. But I don't want to be all bearish. I mean, things can change. I mean, we do have a lot of countries around the world the next couple of days. They're all announcing interest rate changes. And some of them, if not most of them, are going to be raising interest rates. The U.S. is ahead of the curve on that. And that's what we saw. The Federal Reserve put us on the pause button yesterday with the FOMC. But I want to point out, interest rates continue to go up even despite that. Because the markets are anticipating the higher interest rates happening globally. So be mindful of that. This is a big problem. And I still think we're going to 6%. I'm following JP Morgan CEO, Jamie Dimon. He said we're going to 6%. I believe him. So thanks a lot, guys.